Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, reaching for your phone like you always do, and seeing a notification that simply says, $100 has been deposited into your account. No sender, no explanation, just one rule attached to it. You must spend every single dollar before midnight. If even $1 is left, it disappears forever. No saving, no investing in a bank account, no carrying it over to tomorrow. At exactly 12:00 a.m., whatever remains is gone. Then the next morning, another $100 appears, and the game starts all over again. First, this sounds amazing. Free money every single day. That's over $36,000 a year without doing any work. Most people would celebrate. You'd probably buy your favorite coffee, order food instead of cooking, upgrade your phone sooner than planned, subscribe to every streaming service you've wanted, maybe even buy new clothes every weekend. After all, why not? Another $100 is coming tomorrow. There's no reason to hold back because you can't save it anyway. But here's the interesting part. This challenge isn't really about spending money. It's about how you think about money. Because even though everyone receives the exact same $100 every day, not everyone ends up in the same place. Some people stay exactly where they started, living from one day to the next. Others somehow use the same $100 to build something that keeps making them money long after midnight. How is that possible if the money disappears every day? Before you answer, I want you to pause for a second and think. If you were in this challenge starting tomorrow, what would you spend your first $100 on? Be honest. Don't think like an investor. Think like yourself. Your answer is probably the same one that millions of other people would choose. And that's exactly why most people never become wealthy. Because hidden inside this simple game is one lesson that completely changes the way rich people look at money. Once you understand it, you'll never see a paycheck, a bonus, or even a single dollar the same way again. In the next part, we'll follow two people who both receive the same $100 every day. After just 30 days, one has absolutely nothing to show for it, while the other has quietly built something that keeps paying them back. The difference isn't luck, it's one decision. Let's meet two people. We'll call them Alex and Ben. They both wake up every morning to the exact same notification. $100 has been deposited into your account. Spend it before midnight or lose it forever. Same amount, same rules, same opportunity. On day one, they both spend the money on things that make them happy. A nice meal, a few online purchases, maybe a movie ticket. Nothing unusual. By the end of the week, they've both enjoyed 7 days of free money. Life feels great. But as the weeks go by, their habits begin to change. Alex keeps treating the $100 like a reward. Every morning becomes another excuse to spend. New shoes this week, a smartwatch next week, food delivery almost every night, premium subscriptions he barely uses. If there's money that has to disappear by midnight, he figures he might as well enjoy it. After 30 days, Alex has spent $3,000. He has some nice memories, a few gadgets, and a closet that's a little fuller. But when the challenge ends, so does the lifestyle. The money stops coming, and so do the upgrades. He's back exactly where he started. Ben starts the same way, but around the second week he notices something. The rule never said he had to buy things that lose value. It only said he had to spend the money. So instead of asking, "What do I want today?" he starts asking, "What can I buy today that will pay me tomorrow?" That one question changes everything. On day 15, instead of buying a new pair of sneakers, Ben buys a domain name and web hosting. A few days later, he uses another $100 to subscribe to a design tool. The next day's money goes toward learning a skill that businesses are willing to pay for. Another day's money buys a microphone, then a simple website, then software that helps him work faster. Every dollar still gets spent before midnight, but now it's being exchanged for something that can create more value. By the end of the month, both men have spent the same $3,000. Alex owns things that are getting older every day. Ben owns tools, skills, and assets that have the potential to earn money even after the challenge is over. Same income, same rules, completely different future. And here's where the story gets really interesting. What Ben does next seems almost unfair. He discovers a way to make that daily $100 work for him instead of depending on it forever. That's the moment his money stops being something he spends and starts becoming something that works while he sleeps. Ben has now reached a point where most people would stop. He has a few useful tools, a valuable skill, and maybe even a small website. But this is where the biggest mistake happens. Most people think becoming wealthy is about earning more money. Ben realizes it's actually about making every dollar he receives do more work than he does. So instead of spending the next $100 on something new, he asks himself a different question every morning. Will this purchase make tomorrow easier or just today more enjoyable? Some days the answer is a better camera for creating videos. Other days it's advertising to attract customers. Then it's a book on sales, a productivity tool, a course that teaches him how to build an online business. None of these purchases make him look richer overnight. In fact, if you saw Ben walking down the street, you probably wouldn't even notice a difference. But behind the scenes, something incredible is happening. The website he built starts getting visitors. A small freelance client recommends him to another client. The software he bought saves him hours every week. The skill he learned allows him to charge more for the same amount of work. For the first time, money begins flowing back to him without waiting for tomorrow's $100 deposit. And that's the difference between an expense and an asset. An expense takes money out of your pocket once. An asset has the potential to put money back into your pocket again and again. Rich people aren't obsessed with saving every dollar. They're obsessed with turning today's dollars into future income. Imagine two people buying the exact same laptop. One uses it to watch movies every night. The other uses it to learn video editing, starts freelancing, and eventually builds a business. The laptop is identical. The price is identical. But one purchase creates entertainment while the other creates income. The object isn't what changes someone's life, it's how they use it. By the end of the year, Ben has spent exactly the same amount of money as everyone else in the challenge. But now, some of his income no longer depends on the mysterious daily deposit. His assets have started generating money on their own. The challenge that once controlled his life is slowly becoming irrelevant. But here's the twist. You don't need a magical $100 appearing every morning to play this game. In fact, you're probably already playing it, you just don't realize it. And once you see the hidden version of this challenge in your own life, you'll understand why some people build wealth while others stay trapped in the same cycle for decades. Now let me tell you something that completely changes this story. The $100 challenge isn't fictional. You're living a version of it right now. Maybe it isn't $100 a day. Maybe it's your salary every month, your weekly paycheck, or the money from your business. But the question is exactly the same. When money reaches your hands, what do you turn it into? Most people turn income into expenses. They work all month, get paid, buy things that slowly lose value, and then wait for the next paycheck. It's a cycle that repeats for years. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your money. Buy the coffee, go on the trip, upgrade your phone if you can afford it. But if every single dollar you earn only buys things that cost you more money later, you'll always have to work for the next dollar. Wealthy people think differently. Before they ask, what do I want to buy? They ask, what can I own that will help pay for the things I want? That's why they buy businesses, rental properties, dividend-paying investments, useful skills and tools that make them more productive. They understand that the goal isn't to spend less, it's to spend smarter. Think about it this way. Imagine someone hands you a fruit tree instead of a basket of apples. Most people would choose the basket because it gives them something immediately. But a few years later, the apples are gone, while the tree is still producing fruit every season. Assets work exactly the same way. They may not be as exciting on the first day, but they keep rewarding you long after the excitement of buying something new has faded. So here's my challenge for you. The next time money enters your account, don't ask yourself, what can I afford? Ask yourself, what can this money become? That single question has created millionaires, business owners, and financially independent people all over the world. Because at the end of the day, becoming wealthy isn't about how much money you make. It's about how many times each dollar works before you spend it. If this story changed the way you think about money, subscribe, because the next challenge might completely change the way you think about building wealth.